Another super chat from YouTube. Kimberly says Australia's conservatives are being affected by Trumpian disease, forcing reopening of states with COVID outbreaks. You know, and this is something that I really, it's the best of times and worst of times, right? I have a level of calmness and peace in my household because we're quarantined. My life before quarantine wasn't exactly the best life. Let's just leave it at that. We were living in Atlanta. Atlanta is quiet as it's kept. It's a party city. And, you know, I would work all day. I would hustle. I never stop hustling. I would work all day, but then I would go play poker. I would stay out, hit a bar. I would do whatever, you know, just it was nonstop. And I'll go to sleep at 2 a.m. And somewhere in that time, I tried to be a father and a husband. What COVID has done for us has been to say, shut that down entirely and don't do anything but take care of your family and take care of your health. The opposite side of that is the terrifying reality of the fact that so many people don't have that blessing, the ability to stay home and make their money from home, the ability to provide for their family from home. So many people don't have that blessing. Now you compound that reality with the complete abject. So now the lights came up real bright. Thanks, camera. I don't know what my camera is doing today. Now I'm glowing. Sorry about these sidebars. I'm just really particular. I don't want to look like my shirt like I'm in heaven or something. There we go. The sociopathy. I don't lose my spot. You combine that with the complete sociopathy of these politicians who are trying to force everyone back into public spaces because they're not going to admit it to you. But let me tell you the truth. They are employing a herd immunity strategy. And that's going to cost us close to 1 million lives. We're only at 200,000. And I say that not tongue in cheek, not to be coy, but we're only 1/5 of the way there. It's an understatement to say that they don't care about us. But it has to just be said as plainly. They do not care about us. I'm going to call this damn camera company tomorrow. Everything is just acting funky tonight. Now it's getting darker. You know what? I'm going to leave it just like this. Up or down, bright or whatever. I'm not going to be distracted by that anymore. It's going to be extra warm room tonight. It's probably trying to adjust for this bright ass white shirt. They don't care about us. They see us as just another number. They see us as just cogs in their machine. They see us as the coal in their economic furnace. And they've shoveled 200,000 lives into that furnace. And here's the problem I have. This particular subject, COVID-19, and the way that they don't care about us, and the fact that I recognize the amount of privilege that I have. Listen, I understand clearly. I am blessed and lucky, depending on what you believe or what you don't believe. I'm blessed and lucky to be able to stay home and thrive. My family has been thriving in this moment because I needed to get out of the streets and just stay my ass home. I'm aware of that, and in everything that I do, I'm fighting, yelling at the top of my lungs for us to provide this for everyone. But not only are they not providing people with the ability to stay home, they're insisting on opening back up and shoving you back into the furnace of their economy. And if it costs 1 million lives, it costs 1 million lives. In the grander scheme of things, at some point in the future, when we can look, hopefully all of us, hopefully everyone listening to me right now, you're safe, and we can collectively look back at this time. The absolute barbarity of our leaders is something that we're going to have to come to terms with. And the fact that we allow them to stay in power. Now, this is COVID-19 is precisely the area where I get pushed to the edges of revolution. I don't go over that edge because I got kids. Okay, let's just be real. I got kids, and I don't want to have to send them, send them down to Cuba to be safe from what's happening here in this country. But when I think about the reality of how sadistic and how barbaric our leaders are, and the fact that they will happily shovel 500,000 lives into the furnace of this economy, when every other civilized nation, see, America is uncivilized in this regard. Other nations not only have a better control and better grasp of COVID-19, but they are caring for their citizens. What this madness that we do in the United States of America, this is not normal. And I'm hoping that at some point in the future, when we can look back at this, we could come to terms with the fact that this country broke us. It broke us so much so that we allowed them to kill 200,000 of us. And we allowed them to stay in power. I don't care what kind of oxymoron. I don't care what type of cognitive dissonance. Me sitting here in a pretty decent looking, like if I showed you the floor, if I showed you the reality, you'd be like, okay, it's not that posh, right? But the framing of it looks really comfortable. And it's the fact that I am comfortable enough that I can sit home and make money and thrive, and I can sit home and exercise and lose weight, and I'm blessed. It is kind of a cognitive dissonance that a person like me is sipping on. Now, normally I have a coffee, but I got wine tonight because I'm a little sleepy and I want to go to sleep after this. There is an irony of me being as privileged as I am, as apparently well off as I am. Don't let the looks fool you. But there's an irony in me talking like this, even though I'm in probably the best position out of anybody in terms of COVID-19. Because I have literally not only thrived in my health, but I've thrived in my finances. I've got a couple of viral videos. Y'all keep clicking on my joints, please. Whenever they come up, please click on them. Just watch them. Even if you just turn down the volume, just play them. Let those commercials play. I know there's an irony in a person like me even uttering the words of revolution. But the reason that is constantly in the back of my mind is because I cannot enjoy what I have, knowing that there are people outside of my doorsteps that are dying because they are essential workers and they can't stay at home. They have to go and stock the groceries. And our country is so barbaric that not only are we not doing anything to help them, but we're actually creating the conditions to make it worse. So I'm sorry if this is all like a champagne socialist, this is all a little bit too posh and bourgeoisie, and I look like I'm a part of the petite bourgeoisie. Like, I'm sorry if all of that is creating a cognitive dissonance. But I've been poor long enough, and I've got enough humanity in me, regardless of most of my life being poor, to understand that what is happening in this country is a goddamn shame. And while we may not have the mindset now to make these politicians pay for killing our brothers and our sisters, at some point, there has to be a reckoning with ourselves. first, because we can't have a reckoning with this system unless we have a reckoning with ourselves, and hold ourselves accountable to the fact that we allow them to kill 205,000 people and they remained in power. And I understand why they remain in power. Because the alternative is a confrontation that we, quite frankly, probably won't win. And it's a confrontation that destabilizes things even more. And for the most part, all of us want a level of stability and peace. And the only thing that I ask myself, and I'm not asking you, I'm not questioning you, I question myself every day. How expensive is this peace? How expensive is this peace? How expensive is it for me to be able to be in the backyard with my kids every day, playing tag? Y'all ran around the yard like a big ass kid playing tag. I was excited because I could run. Like 6 months ago, I couldn't run. Now I could run. That's how blessed I've been in COVID-19. I'm outside like a big ass kid playing tag, and I'm looking forward to doing it tomorrow. But how expensive is that peace? So far, it's been 205,000 lives. Because there should not be a single politician in this country, I don't care what party they are part of, that should feel comfortable when so many people have died because our system refused to do what other nations did, what civilized, what non-shithole countries did. And in this case, we are the uncivilized, we are the shithole countries, and we are burning through lives. I'm sorry, all that from that person who mentioned, from the individual, from Kimberly, who mentioned COVID-19. There was another super chat that I missed. And actually, let me go. I want to be more responsive to Twitch because I better. Twitch will let you know when you did something wrong. We had a raid last night. RZNWA. They raided our Twitch channel last night, and I didn't find out about it until the stream was over. They brought 300 people from their stream over to our stream. So salute to everybody who came over from that stream. If you're on Twitch, be sure to go over there and show them some love. Tell them that I sent you, and I'm grateful that they came to hang out with us. So I definitely got to pay attention to what's going on at Twitch. Redeemed, the Velvet Gentleman on Twitch says, do you think we will see a socialist in the White House in our lifetime? I don't know. Here's the thing, though. I had a conversation with Anand. I cannot pronounce it. I can pronounce his last name, Girdadas. He's an author, Anand Girdadas. And he's an author. He's a contributor with the New York Times. I'll be posting that in tomorrow's podcast. He's a contributor on MSNBC. He's the dude with the really fly hair. You know, it's like gray hair, but it's in waves and a point, you know. Of course, being bald, I take notice of really cool hair. I had a conversation with him today. And the conversation with him was so meaningful because we talked about, like, here's how we win. This is what he said, and I agree. I don't care what you call me. You could call me a socialist, you could call me a communist, you can call me a neoliberal, you won't call me a fascist. That's the only thing you can't do is call me a fascist. But I don't care, like, the particular identification. Here's how we win. What we're fighting for is fundamentally good and just and right. There's not a reasonable person who is a person of good faith and good conscience who would look at you and disagree with the following statements. We have more homes that are vacant than we have homeless people in this country. And we create enough wealth to not have to seize those properties, but to compensate those owners for those properties and to make sure every person in this country has a place to stay. If we have enough wealth to do that and all of us create that wealth, why do we not do it? Now that's a little cumbersome. Well, I'll find a better way to say it. But the bottom line is we make enough money in this country to make sure that every single person has a place to live. Period. If that makes me a socialist, I don't care. What's important is that that's the right thing. That is the right thing to do. And us not doing it is an indictment of our character as a country. So whether or not we'll see a socialist in the White House in our lifetime, I think that's a little bit immaterial, so much as we get somebody in the White House who has that level of conviction about our responsibility to each other because of what all of us collectively create. Jeff Bezos is a billionaire because of you. Every little thing that you order off of Amazon makes him a billionaire. Walmart, the Walton family, they are billionaires because of you. There is no wealth that is generated in this society that is not contributed to by every single one of us. So since we all collectively create this, then we should all collectively benefit from it. And it's the right thing to do. If we create enough wealth to make sure that nobody goes to bed hungry in this country, why on God's green earth would we not do it? So we convince them with the righteousness of our cause. And if that makes me a communist, if that makes me a socialist, I don't care. You know, last I checked, I was a Christian. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I appreciate you, Joey. I appreciate you guys just letting me do this. Like 745 people hanging out with me. I really enjoy you guys just letting me do this. Like for greater or lesser extent. Well, that's scary. Somebody said they lost my stream. Is everybody here? Yeah, Maze. We convinced them with the righteousness of our cause. We convinced them with the righteousness of our cause. If you saw somebody on the street and you could help them change their life with your pocket change, an amount so small that you wouldn't even notice, but you have the ability to fundamentally change their life, do you not then have a responsibility to do that? Michael Bloomberg damn near purchased our democracy with his pocket change. He took $1 billion out of his pocket and almost bought this entire democracy. I stopped him with 6 tweets. I didn't say that to humble brag or just outright brag. I said that to say if this man could buy democracy with his pocket change, does he and do we not have the responsibility to make sure that everybody has a doctor? Because it won't take collectively all of our treasure to do that. They could still be billionaires. Now, if you really push me into a corner and you make me choose between the existence of billionaires and us doing the right thing, then that's a whole different conversation. We can have that conversation. And then you rightfully could call me a communist. Fine. But what I'm trying to tell you is that our greed is going to destroy us. Our greed is going to inevitably destroy us. And we have created a system that rewards greed. Let me get these things out of my ear. I don't even have any audio going back into it. We have created a system that rewards us based on the very worst of human nature. It's like this, yeah. Like the Bible says that the love of money is the root of all evil. And we created a system based on the love of money. And evangelicals look at me and call me heretical because I'm a Christian who does not fall into line with the love of money. In fact, I'm the exact opposite. It's like they think the Bible says the hate of money is the root of all evil. That's how evangelicals behave. Like if you have a disdain for greed, then you are the root of all evil. If you really look at it, they think like people who are close to being socialist or communist or whatever, they think that we are the root of all evil. The Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil. And here we are creating a system that is built on the love of money. So why do you think it's just, even if you don't believe in God, it only makes sense that if you build a system based on greed, you will have endless wars. You're going to have homeless people when you don't have to. You're going to have a system where politicians shovel the lives of 205,000 people into the furnace of an already teetering economy. Because we built a system built on the love of money, which according to their Bible, the same Bible I read, but apparently they got a different version, is the root of all evil. Now, let me compartmentalize that because that really brings out a side of me. If I can't convince them about the brokenness of our entire system, forget about them because they don't want to be convinced. We can convince everybody else. 1 by 1, 2 by 2, 3 by 3. We can convince everybody else that in a system where we make this wealth, this stream that I'm doing right now is generating wealth for YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. It's generating wealth. I'm putting money into the pockets of Mark Zuckerberg right now. You are too by watching this, and our collective activity is generating this wealth. But yet, anytime we try to do something collectively for the good of society, they all of a sudden are like, oh, not my money. You're right. It's not your money. It is ours. We helped create that. And we have created a system that benefits a small percentage of people at the expense of everybody else. But most assuredly, this system is so bastardized that now we are killing people. We're sending people back into bars and clubs just so that we can continue to generate that. We could not pause. We could not pause this system for a week, for 2 weeks. God forbid we would have paused this system for a month where we could have got COVID-19 under control and saved hundreds of thousands of lives. That's how sadistic this system is. It is our money. I don't even know what this is, but it is a dope ass bottle. Scarlet Smack is what it's called. And again, I understand, man. I understand, like, people will watch this and be like, here's this bougie ass nigga. Got roses in the background. Drinking red wine on, got this high definition camera. I even got on cufflinks. Only reason I got on cufflinks because this is the only shirt that actually fit me. Y'all saw that thing I had on yesterday. That thing was hanging down here. So I had to put on a shirt that actually fit. Now, I ordered some clothes. So I got some clothes on the way. So I won't have to wear the cufflink shirt anymore. But I wasn't about to come on here again with my t-shirt hanging down to my navel. All right. But I know it's it's going to be a stretch for people who watch this and be like, this bougie, which I'm not, obviously, but this is what they'll say. Persons talking all of this socialism, because that's exactly what they're going to call it. If I'm lucky, they'll probably call it communism. And then they'll ask me, when will I give up my wealth? Well, notwithstanding the fact that, like, if Facebook and YouTube ever pays me, because I don't believe it till I see it, like, like I finally made some money last month. So if they ever pay me, do you think for a second that I'm gonna let? And again, it's not about me letting. I'm working with my siblings to make sure that they don't have to go back into the classrooms. And so it's not about me controlling them. It's their choice. But I'm doing my damnedest to make sure that they understand that they don't have to make that choice. So to answer the question is, like, if they ask me, like, would I put my money where my mouth is? I will. I don't have to have I don't need. Listen, here's the deal. And I don't even want to put this in context of me, because screw me. Because like I said, I'm not the best character. I already told y'all a lot. I already probably told you too much, right? You know, I used to be out partying. I still want to party. I'm not partying now because of COVID-19. And I'm getting comfortable. I'm being housebroken. My wife is doing a good job of domesticating me. So I'm doing better. So I want to take it out of context of me, because I'm not the best person. But I just want to put it in the context of a universal kind of thing. We have to actively reject greed. We must actively reject greed. It must be an exercise, just like I try to exercise every day now, because I want to be able to go to the beach one day with my chest out, right? It's an active everyday routine that you have to practice rejecting greed, because even those of us with the best of intentions can fall prey to it. It's very easy for me to go back to my way of thinking, like, oh, I'm getting this big check from YouTube because I had like 4 viral videos last month. And I'm like, holy, wow, this is great. Part of my mind instantly went to the fact that as soon as this is over, I'm going to rent out a yacht. I'm going to make sure we got models here. I'm going to make sure we got models there. I'm going to make sure we got bottles. We're going to be popping. I'm going to be toasting to the good life. Part of my mind went there. Then the other part of my consciousness said, wait a minute. Why would I make money, hoard that money for some type of gluttonous party, when I know people in my immediate family that may be forced back into classrooms to teach? Now, again, it's not my choice. It's my sister's choice. It's my brother's choice. They have to make that decision. But if I allowed myself to stay in the mindset of pack all this money in, buy my wife a house, if this keeps happening every month after month, and I can keep hitting some viral videos, y'all keep watching my videos. Click on the notification bell. Try to get a brother out of the hood, who grew up poor. Try to get him to be able to buy a home one day. So turn on the notification bells. Go to YouTube right now and click on the notification bells and just watch the videos, right? We can at least take that money from the man and put it into the hands of a socialist. But I digress. If I have that mentality and I give into it, then no matter how good my intentions are, I become culpable and a part of the same system that is broken. It doesn't mean I have to give everything away. It means that at some point, again, it doesn't mean I have to give everything away, but it doesn't mean at some point I have to find a way to be satisfied with what I have. Because greed is never satisfied. There's a scripture and I can't think of it. It's about like hell is never consumed. Hell is never full. Greed. Somebody in the audience knows it. Put it in the chat. But greed is never satisfied. And so we have to actively, no matter how good my intentions are, my mind went there to hoard it, to save it, to buy a car, to rent out a yacht, to pop some bottles, to all the trappings of Instagram. So I said that to say this: we have to actively reject greed. Because if we don't actively reject greed, we will be replicating the same broken system that allows homelessness to exist when it doesn't have to. We would be replicating the same broken system that has just thrown 205,000 lives onto the furnace of this broken economy. Even if I get it. It's a small microcosm. My decision to throw a yacht party with models or not is a micro decision of just me, but it's the individual decisions of 8 billion people on the face of this planet that collectively give way to a total system that is driven by the very worst in humanity. And I'm going to promise y'all, I ain't got it all right. So if you see me at the club after this is over, don't say nothing. Just be like, he's still piecing it together. Those are my aspirations. That's what I work towards. But I know it's true. Even if I'm not ready to absolutely live up to it, I know it's true. You know I'm true. You know it's right. We know it's right. All right, enough of that. Let me get some of your comments.